Now I would invite CMD, Rashtriya Ispat Nigam Limited, Vizag Steel Plant, Mr. Atul Bhat for his keynote address, please.
Honorable Minister of State for Steel, Shri Fagan Singh Kulaste ji, Mr. Sundarajan of Tata Steel, Mr. Sujal Shah of Vedanta, Madam Monica Bachchan, who has selected a very, very apt topic, and I must congratulate you, madam, for selecting this topic of metallurgical coal, coke and blast furnace. Because if there is one factor which has prevented Indian steel companies from occupying the first quadrant of the industry cost curve, it is this issue of metallurgical coal and of course metallurgical coke. Because primarily, we are producing through the blast furnace route, for which you require coke of a particular quality and which actually necessitates imports of huge quantities of coal into the country. I mean, just if you see the economics, because this import has to be done, which means that planning has to be done. Let's say today, I start planning for coke or coal, because it is not available in the country, it arrives after 3 months, 2 months or 3 months. I mean, today if you consider the situation, most of the steel companies, the coal which they are having in their stocks was procured maybe a couple of months back, or even if the ship is arriving today, the order was booked not at today's price, but yesterday's price. Whereas this lag which happens, the steel price corrects itself to the current coal pricing, which is, what we are seeing happening. So then this big issue comes, like if there is a drop in the price, how do you sustain the operations? When actually you are seeing a situation where, let's say hypothetically, coal of $400 or $350 to $400 is being held by most steel companies, and the prices have come down considerably. Most steel companies then face the situation of the contributions which have really drastically shrunk. And then people start thinking that, I wish, we had more coal in the country. And it's not that it's not available. Coking coal is available in the country. But the only issue is that how much of that is available to the steel companies. Because power being the priority sector, and we have all seen in the last couple of months that even the boiler coal, that is a very important component of the operations of steel companies. Even that, because of the non-availability of rakes, most steel companies were suffering. And that is why I would say that it's so appropriate that this conference is held today, because most of the CEOs, I mean, at least I can talk about myself, 50% of my time I'm just planning the procurement of coal, which blend to use, how do we bring the cost down, and what the most importantly, how do I finance my working capital? Because this huge financing of the working capital also puts a strain. So if you see the factors of production, iron ore, India, I would say the cheapest iron ore in the world and the best quality iron ore is available. The demand is there. But then we get stuck the moment, the expertise is there, we have all the latest technologies which are available. But the calculations go haywire the moment, you start planning for the coal, and then you have situations where some particular blends are not available, and the lack of availability of those blends actually throws your entire production process out of order. So what is the need of the hour? How do we go forward? We are all aware, of the multiplier effect of the steel industry in the economy. And that this 300 million tons that is planned by the government, I'm sure it will usher in huge, development, in terms of both the upstream and the downstream. But what is now really required is, how do you plan for the coal? I think the Jharia coalfields, where there was a plan for the resettlement of the workers and the development of the mines, I think that should be one priority area. That one should go about meticulously finding out how you can get access to that coking coal. Huge repository of coking coal that is not being used in the country. The second, of course, is the washeries. We should set up more washeries, because the way forward is reduced dependent on the imported coal and greater availability. I mean, for once, I think what I would say is that if there is coking coal, that there should be no diversion to the power sector. I think that is, if that starts happening and that is adopted, as a principle in the country, I think it will go a long way towards making the Indian steel industry the powerhouse that it actually is, and really strengthening the fundamentals. So, once again, congratulations to the organizers of this conference for this, for this very, very relevant topic. And I'm sure, I must also congratulate all the people who have come, who have registered, who will be participating in the deliberations. Because I'm sure that the collective wisdom of this audience will be, with the collective being what it is, we will be able to come out with some innovative solutions of how we can address, this issue of making coking coal available at a competitive price in order to make the Indian steel industry, very, very strong, very, very dominant in terms of making it dominate the global steel industry. So thank you very much. And I wish the participants and this conference all success. Thank you.